Low Fuel Motorsport, or LFM, has recently added support for Automobilista 2 or AMS2, and I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun. I've had the chance to try out 2 races so far on the platform. LFM is essentially the iRacing style service for a bunch of other sim racing games. It's got its own ELO system, for example, and safety rating. And having started off with Assetto Corsa Competizione, they quickly spread to Assetto Corsa. There was a brief time where they ran off Factor 2, I really enjoyed that. But now they've added AMS2 support, and in the new year, potentially R3E, Race from Racing Experience, which, if you want to have a bit more of an understanding of what it's like, I recently picked it up, and you can check my video reviewing that in the description down below. I had a lot of time for it over the years, and I took part in a lot of the free events they had, but this year I finally bit the bug and decided that I was going to actually buy it. But back to AMS2, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Let's go through the first 2 races that I've had, and we can go from there. So to start off, what I did was I tried the Formula Classic race at Hockenheim. 30-minute race in old F1 cars. How hard could it be? Well, I quickly found out how hard it could be when, as I went to the track with my knockoff FW14B, it was raining for qualifying, and oh boy, do these cars handle differently in the wet. I immediately sped as well, and got myself a faster penalty in F1 experience than Sebastian Vettel did, and then kept on trying to loop it every time I was coming out of a low speed corner. Eventually qualifying was done. I'd managed to set some decent pace, and I thought, hey, a top 10 could be alright in this, especially if it's dry. Well, the race start came around, and yep, it was something. So I figured just keeping on the road would give me a good finish. So naturally, at the end of the first lap, I loop it going into the stadium section, only to find that there are more people going off the track again and again and again. After a while, I figure out, let's just settle into the groove. I might find some pace. I've not set up the car. Let's just have some fun with it. And there was one point where I got into a really nice battle, until I realised that I was in a battle with a car that was a lap down on me, and so I just let them by and sat in the tow, and yeah, apart from a couple of other little mistakes, I didn't crash the car, and I took that as an absolute win. My second race wasn't as fortunate. After a long day at the day job, I came back and I had a go at this second one, which was at Road Atlanta with the recently released IMSA pack, because it's added in some tracks from IMSA this season, as well as the current IMSA field. And qualifying was alright. I've done Road Atlanta quite a bit in iRacing predominantly, and I've always enjoyed it as a track, particularly Le Mans and races similar to that. I know how to use the curbs here, I know how to brake generally, and I know how to drive a hypercar. So then the race starts, and yeah, I had one of the turn ones of all time. Honestly, the grass felt a lot more like the old iRacing ice grass. I can assure you I wasn't tyre dipping, though I did give myself a really nice last to first challenge, eh? As the lap went on, I started to pick off some other people who'd made mistakes, usually bigger mistakes than mine, and I started to get through the GT3 field. At this point I was like, okay, head down, let's just keep going, let's keep having fun and see what I can get out of this. And I was getting faster and faster and faster. I was getting faster on mediums than I had in my quali time on the softs. And I just started catching people. Eventually I was catching people who hadn't made mistakes. And then I got into a nice little battle. Despite a GT3 hitting me not once, but twice. So yeah, that was a fun bit. Though what was slightly less fun was the ending to this battle with my fellow 963. Which, yeah, I still need to look at the replay of this one, really. It was an anticlimactic end to a battle, and I felt a bit hard done by, especially given the level of damage I had was essentially meatball. But, hey, could be worse. I could, you know, have been out of the race. If I could limp around at the pace that I was holding, I would hold on to my current position in 6th. Only to find, a lap later, yeah, that was 5th. Yeah. One of the most anticlimactic 5th place finishes I've ever had. One of the slowest 5th place finishes I've had. But, hey, I'm not complaining. My ELO did quite well and I didn't lose any safety rating. So overall, the LFM experience with AMS2. I'm looking forward to doing more and more of this, and as I said in my R3E video, I'm expecting to do a lot more race from now that I've picked it up. It's great to have this variety on the platform. I might actually soon do a video that's reacting to an Overtake article. I think it was Overtake, or was it Traction? I can't remember. I think I'm wrong, and I think it's Traction, where they were talking about is nostalgia and throwbacks to future sim racing games. I don't think that it necessarily is, but I do think that official nostalgia content in sim racing games is really helping. Because I think a lot of people really enjoyed the cars in those games, and if not in real life, then in the games specifically. And as a result, they want to do these things. At the same time, if a platform can offer them the modern cutting edge stuff, they'll go for that as well. But what I think happens is then iRacing can handle the modern, up-to-date stuff. It has a great variety of the older cars, don't get me wrong. But the money's going into the NASCAR stuff, it's going into the IndyCar stuff, it's going into all of these new tracks they're adding in. Not brand new, mind you, but new nonetheless. Not everybody wants to spend all the money on iRacing getting, you know, a current supercar, especially when the Gen 3s are coming in, whilst also picking up, I don't know, Group A DTM, or the old mid-90s DTMs where it was completely bonkers. So let's R3E have that, or let AMS2 have that. I think sim racing is in a great place right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I hope to see you again soon for more. Bye for now.